¿Qué ondas, primos y primas? And welcome back to My Primos Podcast. My name is Freddy. With me tonight is my primo and yours, el siete, el chicume, Walter. Say what's up, Walter.
What's up? Feeling divine.
Divine?
Yeah, divine.
Why divine?
Because I was just in Divine, Texas. I was in a little town called Divine, Texas, about 2.5 hours south of Austin, about an hour south of San Antonio. So out in the boonies of San Antonio. I think they said Harris County or something. I forget which one. But
I was thinking you were talking about Divine, the drag queen Divine. You know?
Yeah, that too. So
from Pink Flamingos, from Hairspray, the big drag queen.
No,
that's Divine.
I'd have to go look. Didn't they do a new? Never mind.
No, they did do a new Hairspray. They did. Zac Efron, I think, was in it. No, but and the original one is Ricky Lake too. By the way.
Oh yeah, that's around. Yeah, I always forget that Ricky Lake was actually an actor. Before she went into like day show hosts or talk show hosts, whatever.
Yeah, the Ricky Lake TV show. I had a friend. You know how during the 90s, dude, like the daytime TV show was the thing. Like Jenny Jones, Ricky Lake, all that stuff, right? Montel.
Jose Luis Censuras.
Okay, Jerry Springer. But no, I had a friend that she was on Ricky Lake or Jenny Jones, and it was like, my mom, stop! You're being a hoe. Like, that was the episode.
Wow.
And it was her and her mom, and they had to make over her mom to make her more quote unquote mom like. Like she would dress muy descotado, muy sexy, and the daughter was embarrassed about it.
I remember two instances where in high school there's this one guy that he told us he went to Jose Luis Censuras and they paid him like at the time $60 to get in a fight with some other guy. And then I remember in college there was this one girl, I forget her name, but she passed away. En paz descanse.
Oh, wow.
But she came out in 12 Corazones and they dressed her up and everything. And I remember she had mentioned that she was selling like a group of people, and that they asked her if she was okay with making out with somebody, and she said no, I'm just down to show up and get rejected or say no. So obviously all that.
Is it like Blind Date? Remember that show? Blind Date and Buzzed.
I remember Next. Remember that? All that shit was just so corny, man. Like,
oh, MTV. Yeah, I remember when your dad hated you had your dad took away MTV. Remember that?
No, but I do remember that MTV had one where you went on a date with the dad or the mom or something like that.
Yeah, it was like something with the parents. And they had to like you and let you date the daughter.
Yeah, the parent
or the son.
The parent would screen the date or so. Anyways, just back then people were just seeing what stuck, right? What
yeah,
stuck.
Damn. I remember that. Now, I don't know, man. It's crazy. But Primos, thanks for joining us tonight. If this is your first night, know that we talk about randomness, stuff between primos. We usually touch on everything from pop culture. We also talk about politics when Walter gets super excited about some crazy thing he's read about. But we also get to talk about fun stuff, have some laughs. But no, you can follow us at My Primos Podcast on all social media, especially where Walter would love to hear bad reviews. Walter is wanting to see bad reviews. He wants to see those 1 stars. He wants to see those like 2.5. Like, why couldn't you give us a 1 or a 3? Why'd you go 2.5? Like pick. Are we good or are we bad?
I don't know.
No, but thanks, guys. So Walter, it's been a little bit, but last time we were supposed to talk about Halo. We got on to Title 42 and we got all deep into that conversation. You've been watching Halo, the series.
Well,
I have not watched it yet.
It's only been 2 episodes.
But you've been watching it, right? First 2 episodes?
Yeah.
Edin's watched it and hates it.
Well, don't say hates it.
True.
He had
True.
some
Edin, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he had to. We always give Edin a very like.
He didn't like Cowboy Bebop. He had his qualms with it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
but did you listen to the last episode? He I mean, since he's the one that edits the episode, produces them,
true.
he's like he goes in there and it's like, you know what? Hello, this is and I'm like, nah. You got the power of editing. You shouldn't be
It's
give it
true.
yeah, you shouldn't be have the ability to just edit out whatever you want. Like,
Edin
nah.
couldn't make it. We kind of just sprung this on him, and honestly, he
Hmm.
wanted to be on it to talk, but Edin, we can work around your schedule, man. You get too busy. But
Yeah.
Walter, for those that haven't or those that have, what are your thoughts on the Halo TV series? I mean, obviously, it's only 2 episodes. What are your thoughts so far?
Well, spoil who gives a fuck? Well,
I
it's not
mean, it's
well,
two
okay.
episodes. I mean, Halo's
Mm,
fucking 25 years old. I mean,
yeah, there. Well, I will say this: like, I liked it so far. I really like it. It's just, I mean, so much money got poured into that. Like
the
each
quality of it.
episode, yeah, it's like that's maybe what I'm like a deer in the headlights. Like what,
It
like
doesn't look
actually that
like what? It
actually
doesn't look like
looks
Sci-Fi Channel.
no like not like it's Doctor Who sucks compared to that. Star Trek, which is typically right does pretty good work recently. It's like up there, you know, like
Would you say it's movie quality? Would you say it's like
hell
that
no,
good?
hell
Like,
yeah. The thing is that they're throwing money at it and trying to go for nostalgia and then bump it up and give it good quality stuff. It's like Game of Thrones. How much money did HBO do for a series? You know,
yeah,
like they're throwing movie money at series nowadays, right? It's like as visually it looks. I mean, again, I'm not an expert for CGI and all that shit, but
yeah.
it looks as good as fucking Avatar, like the
Damn, really?
like just really
Okay.
good, and it's like the graphics and maybe I'd have to see it again just to kind of be more critical of it, but in terms of the quality, but right
Like
off the
at first
bat,
glance, it looks
yeah,
great.
at first glance, it's fucking good. Like it's just what I did not like, and this is not much of a spoiler alert, but if it is, you know, whatever, close your eyes. Um,
Really? Okay. We'll close our eyes on the podcast.
the chief took his helmet off, which was
Really?
yeah, it was kind of I was like, oh, I like who's playing him, but it's like no, I was expecting this whole thing to
Build
go
up
without
like
the build up,
Mandalorian.
like Mandalorian, like El Mandilon, you know, like just kind of
Uh huh.
going and doing a whole series and then kind of enticing you into because that's how, right? That's how I never in Halo, right? That's how it started. Like you never see who he is or any of that stuff, you know.
No, I mean I think it's cool that they're doing this. Why not? I'm excited and waited for the Bioshock TV show or movie to ever happen.
Oh wow,
You know, like
that's too many. Well, if they're doing this good of a job with on the visuals with um
Halo.
Halo, but like Bioshock, it feels like a cross between pop, like a cross between Halo, Dead Space, and a System of a Down video. Like just like just very like you know, like very you know. It seems like it would be hard to put something like that and not feel too all of it feel too erratic. You know, just
I
there's a
mean, I'll
lot of
give
like
credit to filmmakers and
quiet. You know, like
I'll give credit to crew and production and all that because think about like Alien. Think about a lot those movies that have like a lot of practical effects. You know,
yeah,
not all CG.
but Bioshock is like Ripley in an amusement park. You know,
No,
like
it's
19.
underwater, dude. It's
I know,
underwater.
but it's a
There's tunnels. There's if you don't know, if, for the uninitiated, since we're
yeah
talking about video games, Bioshock takes place in this
utopia or whatever.
underground utopia for certain people, Ayn
Hmm.
Rand, if you would,
Yep,
esque type of society built called Rapture,
Deco style.
Art Deco from the 50s and 60s, and this supposed perfect place where government wasn't really in charge, that free market, the capitalists can make their money, no morality for scientists, and just do what you want and live off your own fucking effort, right? But shit goes wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and corruption, and people start doing like
You
genetic
really
splicing.
I liked it. I got more into Dead Space than that at the time, but you really got into it, right? Like you really
Bioshock's
got.
like one of my favorite games and series. So I read the novelization of it, not just the novelization, but they released a book as a prequel to the games, and so I really got into it. I would love if Halo takes off because most people know Halo because it's mainstream, right? It's Xbox. It's you know who
Yeah.
Halo or what Halo is, not who Halo is. But you people know what that is. It's a video game thing, but it's blowing up. Why not? If comic books and comic book movies are blowing up, the video game movies need to start getting that same love.
And even more so, I would imagine, because okay, not to take away from comics, but like you literally, like I remember, I keep going back to Dead Space, but I would literally get the shit scared out of me when you're like at 3 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning playing Dead Space, and some shit comes at you out of the corner behind a mop or something like that. Like
look out for that
um
mop monster.
yeah, so it feels like that's even more triggering of nostalgia, and even like like as a little kid, or
Well, think about it.
not as a little
Let's.
kid, maybe as a teen, and the younger adult, whatever.
I
Well,
think that
as you
the
played,
video game movie it's gonna get its time now because look, Sonic the Hedgehog
yeah,
did really well, and it's
it
actually a
really
fun
after they
movie.
modified it, by the way, because
Yeah,
that
Creepy
thing.
Sonic was not good. Not just that, I watched Uncharted, which with Tom Holland, and
I didn't,
I
but I
liked it.
know it was good. Okay, I'll watch it
It
then.
was
But
fine. It was okay. It was. They did a lot of nods
how
to
about
Uncharted 3.
have they done Far Cry? No,
No, but I would love a Far
Far
Cry.
Cry would Far Cry was so good that even my dad got into it on PC. Like that's how good it was. Like it's hard to my dad is was there was a period of time where my dad was airplane games or like war games or first person shooter, but
You
like
sure the CIA wasn't after your dad? It's plane
yeah,
simulators.
yeah. Um, no, yeah, or and he no, and this guy would stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning. That's something you wouldn't imagine my dad, right? Like the way you know him,
Yeah,
el carácter que tiene, like no, like this fool would stay up till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning playing like Call of Duty, like early Call of Duty,
yeah,
and we introduced him to Far Cry, and it's like Far Cry, it's like Evil Dead out in the beach or something like that, right? Like
yeah.
it's very like it feels like it's like
Dude,
a
Far
two
Cry
put.
now
Uh-huh.
is like you're watching Narcos. Like
Oh, okay.
it's like so in depth, but it's so crazy. It's like that sandbox of a world where anything
Uh-huh.
can
Yep.
happen. Like it's so much fun,
So
and
he got really
that'd be
into
fun.
that, and that would Far Cry would be another good one. I thought for some reason I thought they had made it, but
I mean, think
yeah,
about it. We have the Mario movie coming out like soon, which I don't know. I
John
don't know.
Leguizamo's not coming. No, no, it's a CGI. Like,
It's CGI, and what's his name? Chris Pratt is playing Mario.
oh yeah, I think I've heard a little bit
Remember
about
Jack
that.
Black as Bowser? Remember?
That'll
Remember?
work.
Saw
That
that?
works. That works.
But I think it's gonna come due. The video game movie is gonna get its love now because whenever they try doing
Because
it,
Mortal
remember the
Kombat. I mean, the
Prince of
fighting
Persia
game.
movie?
Oh yeah, that kind of sucked though.
It
But I
sucked,
mean,
and I loved Prince of Persia. Remember those? I love
that
Prince
was
of
a good one
Persia.
too. Samuel got really not only into but really good at it. Like, kind of. I mean, you got God of War too. Shit. Like now
Yeah,
that I think about it, there's a lot of games that like because my main ones were Dead Space and Splinter Cell. And then Halo and Gears of War. That was it. But you would always play other ones. But yeah, I remember
yeah.
Samuel
I mean, it's
got
supposed to be
really.
like all the Tom Clancy stuff gets a lot of love, right?
Mhm.
People turn those into movies, right? How many Tom Clancy movies aren't there? And like
Yeah, but then
the
how
video
many
game
how
movie is
many how,
gonna,
how many books also, right? Just
yeah.
books alone get turned into Tom Clancy books. Um but yeah, a lot of I think that's something that they're gonna start doing like series because don't games give games lend themselves for a longer story arc that you're able to kind of only explore, I mean, better explore by medium
I
of a
agree,
series
but I've learned.
rather than a movie,
Yeah, I think that you can do both though. Honestly, there are some games
GI
that are
Joe. I don't like GI Joe, to be honest. Like the whole GI
no,
Joe
but
thing. It's like
I think there are some video games that would lend themselves to a series, right? And then there are some video games that would be good as a one-shot 2-hour movie. Like, okay, you know what? I can run through. I'm just trying to think of a quick game in my head that was fun. Like, Infamous. Infamous
I
was
don't remember. I
long of a
think I
game.
remember that.
Infamous, you're cold,
Hmm.
you're possessed by the power of electricity, and you can.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it could be a series, but I think that Infamous could be shrunk down, maybe Second Son, where it's like in the city. It's a short experience. You don't need to have a whole series. That can be a hour and a half, 2-hour movie.
Have they?
You know,
Uh-huh.
kind of look
Well,
at it.
I mean, also, wouldn't it be towards the audience that is being geared towards? Like, if it's a more mature audience, wouldn't you want to watch a series of it? You know, like to kind of. I know it kind of it'll go more into geopolitics of things and kind of set it in a more in a more recent settings. Like shit, I'm gonna make it. I'm a. Did they ever come out with the Jason Bourne game? You know, like that didn't suck. I don't know.
I
Like
don't know.
um.
No, but I think what you're saying. So let's like if we were to make like a Bioshock series, right? That would lend itself better because the older audience would want to watch how the city's built, the political aspects, the crime, the mutations, the quote unquote.
Very over the top, like very like the CGI that's available now is something that you
But I really think you can do it without so much CGI. I mean, outside
yeah,
of being underwater in
but
tubes,
it helps. Like
sure,
it facilitates. I mean, what is I don't know actually. This is a question. What is cheaper, to build the set or to just build
it's
it?
probably cheaper to do the computer work, honestly.
There you go. So you were moving towards that world where certain things that for lack of a budget you couldn't do before. Because what were we mentioning before for the She-Hulk that's gonna come up?
Yeah.
She-Hulk. It's that one girl from Orphan Black. Um, so that was a BBC. Or no, that was like a Canadian series, really good actually. She's gonna be She-Hulk, but then
Yeah, Tatiana Maslany,
yeah, I don't remember
Maslany,
her name. But
Tatiana Maslany.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. So then, but I remember hearing that the reason that in the series, Ruffalo is gonna come out. You
Mark
know,
Ruffalo,
Mark Ruffalo is gonna
Bruce
come out,
Banner.
but they were talking about how they had to literally cut Ruffalo's, like they had to nip it in the bud, the idea of bringing the Hulk in the series as well, because it was just the series would have gone over budget.
Uh,
They only had enough, but they only have, or Disney only allocated enough budget for CGI She-Hulk, and if they ever brought it, they couldn't do both at the same time. It's just it would have been not commercial. I mean, it wouldn't be
would have been
economically
cheaper if he
viable.
walked in the Hulkbuster suit. Like if he walked, like is it cheaper that way? Or what?
Yeah, no, but point being is that they immediately said nope, he's gonna stay, because right, they kind of, and it fits with the storyline that they built up until then, where right, as the Hulk is having like a mental block, like a writer's
Yeah.
block where he can't turn into the Hulk, right? So it kind of lends itself to that, so it doesn't seem weird that he never. I'm assuming it won't seem weird that he can't turn. Otherwise, you would expect him, like, why isn't he turning? But this way, they're kind of covering their butts, but at the same time saving money and giving the stage to She-Hulk, who the series is about, right? Um, so
I mean,
that's
but
anyways.
series do get expensive, right? I was watching something, I forget, some random clickbait where like anime episodes that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars per episode to do an anime episode of like One Piece cost like $1 million or something an episode, you know,
Wow.
some shit like that. Like I
Well,
can
it also,
imagine, like,
I mean, it's understandable because you saw the Mandalorian, right?
yeah,
Did you see of Boba Fett?
nah, man, I
Okay,
didn't.
so I watched Book of Boba Fett with my dad, and it was more. It was less action and all that. It was more like a story of literally of him and how he comes to be up until this point within what Disney has, because I don't know much. I know a lot of like Star Wars canon a little bit. I got into it, but I don't. It's like I don't know much about Boba Fett himself. Um, But what I did notice is that the Mandalorian stuff, goddamn shiny. Fucking. It's like when you go to the car wash and you get the $16 wash and it's like ultra whatever, right?
Whatever, man. I think I always get mad when they tell me like for
Espérate,
another
pero
dollar you get the bug,
yeah, I
the
hate
bug
that thing too.
spray.
Like,
Whatever.
no. But then you look at Boba Fett, which is also happening at the same time as Mandalorian. It's really feels like I'm watching Doctor Who a little bit sometimes, like at the beginning. But then when, spoiler alert, I guess, but Boba Fett catches up or meets up with
El Mandilón.
Mandalorian at the end of the book of Boba Fett, the series, the quality goes up like this, like immediately.
I got you.
As soon
I mean, that's
as
what most animation does too, right? Like
you know.
when you watch cartoons, you can see the episodes that look sharper,
Mm-hmm.
that have more color, that just look better. And they outsource a lot of the animation too, if you think about it, to other countries to
Yeah, I
save money.
mean,
But an
yeah.
example, I guess I was exaggerating, but Dragon Ball Super, $180,000 per episode. Death Note,
That's
$1
pretty
million per
okay.
episode.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say Dragon Ball's pretty affordable then, like for
Bleach,
episode.
160,000 per episode. Attack on Titan, 150. Jujutsu Kaisen, 150. Black Clover, 140. So yeah, you're 100,000 plus an episode on an anime. So it can get expensive, and especially live action. Everybody has a paycheck, cast, crew. I don't know. It's just a trip. I'm ready for, if they would do it, I would love it. Bringing back maybe a whole new. Okay, let me slow down. I was watching YouTube and I fell down this fucking rabbit hole of Batman the Animated Series, and they had a documentary on there about how they pitched it, how they went about it, how it was like a risk and a gamble because it was a cartoon that was supposed to play after school for kids, and Warner Bros. Wasn't really into it.
The original one, like
One
the
from the
Black
'90s.
Knight.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
the ones we watched when we were growing up, like the best one,
The
in my
detective,
opinion.
like very. That was like it was like a detective story.
Yeah,
Pretty
the
much.
one that had like the Great Ghost
Very.
episodes, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like I still remember that. And they were talking about how it was a risk. They had to convince them that this was a gamble they needed to take because they were coming off the cartoon from like the 60s, and and the Adam West Batman. And so I think that we can go back now. I'm not gonna, because Batman, not Batman per se, but
it was very
somebody
adult.
else.
It was very adult because even my dad would sit down and watch it with us, and it was even though you didn't see. There was a lot of violence, right? But it was circumstance, like very implied type of violence, right? You didn't really see much, but very grown up material.
Yeah, but I think that can be redone. That's what made like the Justice League shows pretty fun because they took the same thing, the same idea.
I remember, what was the name of that one character that I liked them, but he came out recently too. That one, the one that and the he was like a magician and he turned into like this like monster looking, and he would come in, like he would pop out in some episodes. He had like a red suit and a blue cape or something like that. I was trying to remember.
¿Qué onda, Primos and Primas? Sorry to interject here, but the character that Walter is referring is to this rhyming demon that you're about to hear right now.
Gone, the form of man. Rise, the demon Etrigan. Inferno! Gone, form of man.
But he was more of a magician. Yeah, there you go. He was more of a magician, not necessarily like Superman powers. Like they can kind of biology based. It was more like
the Master Magician Giovanni. I remember that Satar and Satana. That's what I remember.
But anyways, very adult content. Given at what age we were watching it, honestly, like that seemed like they showed a lot of respect. Like I remember, like I wonder, like how would you? Yeah, it matters on who who you're pitching it to, because who the fuck got pitched and gave a thumbs up to Ren and Stimpy.
True.
It's like the most like, oh God, I wouldn't let my daughter watch that shit.
Dude, but I think it was like these guys, like what, like Freakazoid. I fucking love that show, and Animaniacs, like those shows like that. Like Steven
Yeah,
Spielberg is like, fuck it, do it.
but
You know?
those like Animaniacs compared to Ren and Stimpy, that's like even SpongeBob is like really tame. Even in SpongeBob has these like a lot of like double entendres and kind of that only an adult would understand. But like Ren and Stimpy, I just remember him being super dirty from the get go,
I
and
mean,
it's
not
like
dirty. I think it's more like, what was it like? And it wasn't dirty like adult. It was just like dumb poop jokes and shit and gross stuff. You know?
it was dirty. Like there's this one episode where he's like putting a weenie in his butt or something like that. Like, and when somebody else is licking at her, because remember there was like a baboon or something like that. There's a red looking, like overcooked roasted pig or something. But anyways, going back to Halo, it's. I mean, the money's behind it. I'll tell you that much. Like the money is fucking behind it.
So you're in. I mean, 2 episodes
and
in, you're in. You're in. You see what happens.
I was before, like last week when I watched the first episode, I looked at one of I came because I like to like consume news through YouTube, right? And then I came across an episode of this guy. I don't know if you know the quartering or something like that. The quartering. But I started watching him, and he's I don't agree with all
Decoder ring.
No, the quartering. He's like he's an opinion guy.
All right.
Big fat dude with the beard, and he was talking about Halo. He did not like it, and I was like, okay, kept listening. Why didn't I like it? It just felt that he wasn't with the storyline that they're presenting now. He didn't like that they had him take off his helmet immediately. I agree with that. I was like, it would have been nice if they would have waited a little bit longer. They fucking unmasked them the first fucking episode. It's like, here you go. Like, but
you know what I'd be down for? I mean, Lucia's been watching the Young Rock show. That's talking about him growing up. You know,
everybody hates. ¿Cómo se llama? Everybody hates Chris or whatever.
No, it's not that. No. It's Rock, Young Rock.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Chris Rock one. Where
when he's a kid, everybody hates Chris.
Everybody hates Chris instead of instead of everybody loves Raymond, right? Because it kind of came off the tail of that.
No, I'm talking about The Rock. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. His TV show where he's talking about growing up and being, wrestling and all that shenanigans and his life, being a teenager, getting in trouble, all that stuff. I was saying to Lucia, like, man, like, I'd be down to watch like a lucha libre version of that, like the life, like more like comedic / serious, like not just like.
Aren't they building up to that though? Like that, or is it more, or because I haven't seen it, but from the previews, it feels like it's more like a Blackish. But his story, but like told like Blackish or Modern Family type thing.
No, it's like a regular sitcom, and he's just retelling stories, quote unquote, as much as possible. I don't know what's real and what isn't, but most of it looks legit. Like they mentioned the WWE, he hangs out with Andre the Giant, like Macho Man. Like he grew up with them, because his dad was a professional wrestler. And so it's fun to see these stories. All recognize
there's a story to be told. That's
for sure. And Lucia was telling me like, "Oh man, it'd be cool. I told her, man, we had the lucha version of that. That'd be interesting." And see like why can't they get the same kind of attention? It kind of goes back to how we were talking about on Spanish TV or Latino TV, Don Francisco was there for 80 years because that's all they wanted. Like there's no shakeup, there's no change. And then now when you watch Spanish TV, even some of the newer stuff. We got that, Lucia got that pantalla trial to see some of the newer stuff. And it's kind of like, okay, you know what? This feels like a breath of new information, new stuff, maybe like a sitcom from 2016. Like it's kind of pushing the envelope, kind of like
instead of just La Familia Peluche, which
exactly.
Which I like the Familia Peluche, it was good, but it's like
I did not like it. Nope.
Yeah,
sorry.
I liked it, whatever. But point being, it's like I mean, if you tolerate a bunch of
it's like an adult Wiggles.
Yeah, if like, I mean, it was very popular. Like Familia Peluche was like super popular. I think there was even a spin-off off of that for the daughter or something like that. I remember. But point being is that like a more variety now that they're just throwing shit at the screen, right? Literally.
Yeah, but they're getting stuff on there that typically you wouldn't. More risque stuff, more stuff like, oh, okay, I'm interested.
Yeah, because
It's not all. Mhm.
everybody's trying to. Okay, because for example, everything was on Netflix, right? For initially, because they built the platform, like they really built the platform. Like Blockbuster fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Um, they built the platform, but then they ended up like everybody put their content on there. Here, fuck it, do whatever you want with it. Like that's not the future. And then most recently, everybody's pulling their shit, right? Putting it on their own platform, on their own apps. And it seems like everybody's trying to build an audience with whatever the hell, uh, buying licenses for all types of shows, like
Yeah.
right, Halo, right? That's why Halo's on Paramount now, right?
Yeah. I
So
think that the fact that we're getting that more and more, I want to see more like that. I'm like, man, like, I don't want to say reinvent the wheel, but take the good shit that's happening and use it. But I think the problem that happens is they ride that wheel for too long and then it falls off and we're like, I'm bored of that. Like, I want something new. And maybe nostalgia does kick in eventually. Like, oh, I remember something like that from forever ago. That's what gets us old farts back in there. Watch the Halo series, right?
yeah, but even it's like the Fresh Prince. I'm really not interested in the retelling of. I'd probably rather go watch the old one, to be honest. Even if
But
Will
you know
Smith
what?
is
I'm
not going to
watching
be
the
there.
new Fresh Prince, Bel Air, and it's actually fucking good, man. Like, it's darker, it's more adult, it's more like it's not a
Hmm,
comedy at all, and
okay.
so
Is
it's
it
a different
preachy?
take on it.
Is it preachy? I don't like preachy shit.
Not preachy, but it does give a lot of like, hey, you know what? Why not show a black lead family
You know what?
doing
Maybe
well
okay.
and they can achieve shit, you know?
Question. Since we're on this on this type of content,
Yeah.
I watched yesterday on theater. I watched the big red. What's it called? Clifford.
Oh,
I
the
watched
big red
Clifford.
dog.
Yeah.
I'm glad my son is damn near 13. We don't watch a lot
Hmm.
of those anymore.
So that's where I'm going at. I watched it with the baby. I typically just get on the phone, and when I'm watching a movie, I get on the phone and ignore half of it unless it's something I really like.
Okay.
Right? I'll pay attention. And even like Halo, some like I watched the last two episodes on my phone on purpose so that I don't get on my phone and not pay attention to it. Because
Um,
think
okay.
about it. Think about it. Like that's the first.
Sad.
Hey, no, yeah, but it's a thing, right? You kind of get lost, and then all of a sudden, oh shit! Then you rewind and go, did I miss this part? When you're watching it on the
I
TV.
think you lose something with those kind of
Yeah,
shows on the phone,
yeah.
honestly.
No, like and the
The
uh
scope.
the
You lose
scope
that
of it,
scope.
the
Yeah.
scope of it, yes, but the storyline, no, because you're actually not being distracted by your phone because you're watching it on your phone.
I get what you're saying.
Um,
Yeah.
so then, question like I was watching Clifford, I watched it, and since I was with the baby, I make it a point that if I'm watching TV with her, and it's hard. Put down your phone. Stop looking at your phone. Full attention, right? Whether you're reading a book with her or watching a movie with her, right? Um, and I watched it all, and it was like the movie sucks. Like it sucks so much. It's so bad. But then I'm like, it's a simple story because it's for little kids. You know, it's like the the f- the fact that you've been doing that for much longer, right? Like sitting down
Yeah.
and watching a movie with your kid. Does that mean that you're more open to certain type of cheesy, preachy movies that might be cheesy and preachy, but are actually teaching your kids a good lesson?
I mean, in a way you do, but I think we've kind of spoiled James when it comes to movies. We didn't watch just any fucking cartoon or any movie. We went to the catalog and whatever we liked from the Pixar movies, from all the old school Disney stuff, or even some of the newer stuff. Oh, you know what? This looks interesting. When he was a baby, he watched just Sesame Street and Curious George, which we stopped watching because he wouldn't talk. He would just go like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no,
He's
stop watching
teaching like
Curious George.
fucking. I wonder how many kids ended up in speech therapy because of that shit. Um, but
Exactly.
okay, I kind of feel what you're saying
But we
because
just pick what he
when
watches. Now
Mhm.
he'll go back and I said, oh man, do you remember watching this? And he's like, no, but we'll watch newer stuff together. We just watched Prometheus. So we're digging that now. He's all into Alien, you know that. But
No, because I mean, at what age did he get into that? Because con la niña, as soon as she starts seeing some type of violence, she comes over and tells me no, 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 no. Like she wags her finger and says
he
no.
he started getting into Alien when like maybe 10, like 9, 10 years old.
Well, I got a long way to go, homie. And even like she likes like obviously children's stuff. That's what she likes, obviously. And then music wise, either cumbias or like Daft Punk, very música movida. As soon as I put like Metallica or Tool, like she's like, no, 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 no.
No,
So
I'm
I have
telling
to
you,
be patient. I have to be patient.
my kid is very much like, I'll throw you a bone, Dad. Yeah, that's Soundgarden, whatever. Like he's not into it as much as I am. But breaking news, we have someone joining us here on the fly. It's Edin. Say what's up, everybody. Say what's up to Edin, and Edin say what's up.
How's it going, guys? Coming from my local Chinese restaurant, getting some grub.
Nice. The best Wi-Fi
Bro.
because your phone looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
You should
Like, it
record
looks
from the
really good.
Chinese restaurant every time.
At that table, at that chair, right there, that same spot.
This is when we become a local.
And then you walked in right at the end. We were trashing you so bad
Yeah.
because we're like, man, Eddie hates the Halo show. He has no
Nah,
merit.
we bit our tongue, and I was like, let's give it a chance to.
All right, so
Like,
what are your thoughts
okay,
on the
but
Halo
then
series?
again, he changed his mind with the Will Smith thing. So
It's true.
I don't like usually your first reaction. It's a more genuine reaction, but then is it the most it's not the most concise one, right? Like,
Well, look, Eddie
like,
texted me when he first watched the show and goes, "What did you text me? They ruined
they
Master
ruined
Chief."
it. Master Chief.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very specific though. They
Okay,
ruined
go.
Master
Why?
Chief. Does that mean they ruined the series?
No. There you go. That's what
Okay.
I'm going with, which is that's actually what I'm going with. I don't like Master Chief as it is now, and the reason why I don't like it
Is it because it's the rapey guy from Orange Is the New Black or what?
I don't even know who that is. But I don't know. First of all, because Master Chief is very stoic, and it's rare when he says a word or anything, right? Because of the nature of that it's a game. But just the fact that it's somebody who is very doubtful. Here comes my War One Son too. Thank you very much. Have a good day. So I was gonna say, give me a second. The main reason why I'm not feeling it is because simply when I think of Master Chief, I think of somebody who is never doubtful, always knows what they're doing, right? He is the person that you go to when things are going bad. Here, he's not that person. He's somebody who's full of doubt, somebody who's I guess going like a midlife crisis or some shit.
Okay, but okay, yeah, but the game lets you build up to that because eventually he questions, right? Eventually,
Yeah,
he
but
gets
that's at the end. This is
yeah, but
basically
then,
at the
but
very
then,
beginning of it.
but do you think
So-
you think audiences are gonna be that patient to, and then get like nowadays streaming services are trying to hit hard.
I
and
mean,
hit
but
the
if
best.
that's that thought, then why do anything if you're gonna say, oh well, the audience? I would agree to that.
I
If
mean, have you ever heard of prequels like that? They always do that. They come in with the good shit, like Star Wars. That's how Star Wars became Star Wars, because then they were like, "Let me go back and do and tell the full story." Right? It's not the worst tactic, especially in today's atmosphere with content. Right? Like you want to catch people's eyes and catch them and hold on to them for the next, 3, 4, 5 shows. Like series are really short now. Is that something that I'm just noticing?
It's short to me, like so. Master Chief is not Master Chief that I know from the game. Now I understand that, of course, man, like when you're in the medium that it is, that it's a video game, the character is not going to be that talkative, especially for a first person shooter type of game, right? So I get that, right? So it's not going to translate exactly, but I feel like some core elements have changed. But here's what I'm giving it a break, which would make sense to me. 'Cause as much as bad as John is, he is still a human. He was programmed, he was brainwashed, and all that stuff, right? And I understand that it has to be a TV show. and it has to be, I guess, relatable. And then you have to bring in somebody for a while, like, because in the game he's just killing straight out. He's barely talking, so that's why they brought in this the girl, right? So I get all that dynamic. So the reason why I'm putting up with it up to now, at least I've seen it to episode 2.
It's only 2 episodes, Edin. You're not putting up with much. It's like you have a really short fuse.
No,
there,
I
but
mean,
it's
no,
only
I'm putting
2
up because
episodes.
right now it's trashed right now. But the thing is, I'm giving it to because this is
Wow.
yeah, it is. It
Trash?
is.
Damn.
I'm gonna say right now that it's trash, but the thing is, it's like, okay, this is, they're just giving it like it's, if it's leading up to Master Chief being a badass, then okay, of course, he's human, he can't be a badass since day one. I understand that video game
Okay,
to
what
a TV series,
badass in what respects? Like you motherfucker just like he's a badass already. Like in what respect? He's like
Isn't he already Master Chief?
Episode 1 was literally Jason Bourne. He shows up, fucks shit up, finds a
Look,
girl, changes his mind,
whoever
betrays
that
his own
character,
people.
whoever that character is a great character, but that is not Master Chief.
Hold on.
Are you gonna
Let me.
Are you play the
hold
video
on.
games? Are you play the video
Hold on.
games?
Hold on. Slow down.
Yeah.
Calm down. We
Man,
have to separate.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you, man.
Hold on.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna mute. I muted
slap you
Edin.
if I could. Like
I'm gonna mute Edin because I have the power to do that. Edin, hear me out. You have to pull away, and we talked about this.
You got this talking stick, grab your dick thing.
Exactly. You gotta separate it because here's the deal. Here's where I was going with that. You are putting yourself in the place of Master Chief, right? When you play this video game,
and you are not badass. Like
no, but you're taking the place of this character. Hold on. Hold on. Let me finish. You are taking the role of this character, and you feel powerful. You feel like, oh shit, I can do these things, and you do appreciate the character, right? The video game design made the character, gave you this story. It led you to the next thing, and you have a connection. It matters, right? And that's why you're watching. That's why you care. So, with that in mind, remember, pulling back a little bit, the people watching this show in general, you're gonna have, is it made for the gamer or is it made for the mass audience? What do you think, Edin?
Well, of course, it's made. Then let me answer your question with a question. If that is the concern, then why even bother with any IP and then give it in your twist?
Okay,
especially when you change core elements of the character.
Okay,
I mean, that's
okay. Can we be multi-critical in terms of like, hey, can I be the general public? Can Edin be canon? And can Stanley? What do you want to be? Like, pick one. Like, I don't know where to put you, Stanley. But to me, general public, I fucking love it. I fucking like it so far. I hope they keep doing what they're doing. It's just
okay. Edin, what about you?
Yeah.
So right now, like
stick to canon. Stick to canon.
Well, yeah, so right now, not liking it, but I feel like it's gonna lead up to him being, and I hope that's leading up to the John that I know. Because again, I'm pretty sure, like, as much as stoic that a badass superhero that they make him to be in a video game, I know that, like, not everybody's like that 24/7. Everybody has moments of weakness, and especially here in the show that I guess, spoiler alert, that when he grabs that thing that fucks with him mentally, so that's probably what this is right now. So I'm taking that to account that, hey, maybe this thing really jarred his memories, and now he's doubting everything that he's been programmed, right? It's just that at the moment.
I think that no, it's kind of that's what I'm saying. So me sitting back, I haven't watched it. I know the series. Okay,
you'll be the storyline.
No, I'm gonna. I guess, but no. But if I was a producer or if I was a director on this, I would look at it as, okay, well, how do I want to tell the story, right? I enjoyed Halo. I like the characters, or I like the series. I'm hoping the guy running it is a fan. You never know, right? But let's just say they did. He goes, my experience of John was this.
The guy playing him isn't a fan.
No, but I'm just saying, just the director. Hey, an actor's an actor. He's doing a job, right? He doesn't have to be a fan of the show to do the job. What I'm getting at is the vision of the director is what we're seeing, right? So we have to take into account that maybe his telling is not going to be the same as what you experienced or what you felt emotionally tied to this character, because you have some kind of correlation. Oh man, I felt powerful as Master Chief, and I dug his story and I was connected to him, right? So
Yeah.
comic books, video games, all that, people have a connection
It's
to
I
these
mean
characters
and I mean
because
the
they come
more
from a very personal place. When you said why do these things in general, because people go and they flock towards things they remember, nostalgia, what they connect with. So yeah, if I see the name on it of something that I enjoy, like I talked about Bioshock, I'm gonna be super critical, and maybe I have to dial it back too, like Cowboy Bebop. I'm like, well, let me dial it back a little bit. I'm a super fan, but let me dial it back and see the limitations, or let me understand what they're trying to do. You, at the end of the day, either gonna hate it or love it, or it's eh. So we don't know yet. I think that you just gotta give it a little more time.
Yeah, but I mean,
No,
but it's like
I
it's like the Snyder cut. Like the producer matters a lot, the director matters a lot, right? Like because you got the Snyder cut, and then you got that other guy, and the Snyder cut is way fucking better, right? Like that than whatever they ended up putting out, right? I
yeah.
mean, they did have more time to tell the story, okay, but even yeah, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a valid point still. Like
No, I was gonna say like I get it like for like some of the changes is which again it's understandable because you go from one medium to another, which is of course in the game you're shooting. Why would Master Chief be talking here? I guess he has to say words because he's not gonna spend a whole series, a whole season, and barely say words, right? So no, so I get that, right? So I guess now at this moment that he's doubting himself, it's the same criticism that I had with Cowboy Bebop, the same criticism that I had uh, the Avatar, the Last Airbender, like, and even Dragon Ball. One of the things that bugged me is that they changed core values or core things of the character, the reason why we like him. When I see that, I was like, okay, then why even buy this IP and change it? Just make up your own character, your own story. Because those things, like for example,
Okay.
Spike, right, the live
I
action,
mean,
there was
would
nothing
you
wrong with him actually. Him, like that whole story, was nothing wrong. But why call it Cowboy Bebop when it's not that?
is
Same
it
here. But up to now, this
is it
episode 2, so I know that I'm being harsh with it. But up to now, it's like, okay, I don't like it, but hey, let's give it a chance because it might lead up
So
to. It might lead up to
what
being.
if it was
would
more
you
so?
okay would you guys accept the reason or the cop out? Because I remember right after I watched the first episode, I watched they have like extra, and there's this lady that interviews the actor or something, and it's like silver team when it originally is a blue team, right? That's his
Yeah.
yeah. It's like is this the same storyline? Is this an alternate universe? Is that something you can do in
No, what I was
games
thinking was, what
similar
if?
to what you do? It's because in comic books they do it all the time, right? Like
Yeah.
alternate universe. But is
What
that
if
something
it's more so?
that fans would allow? Is that something that fans would allow? Alternate stories of
But
what they
that's a
cop out.
stretch, I
That
think,
feels like a cop out to me.
because there is an alternate.
Yeah.
Here's what I would think, right? Like an example, like Edin said, if the story was completely brand new story, but the character's core values are still the same and it's still the same character, you want to see how he's going to react in that situation. We have those what if scenarios, right? Like, what if we made a Batman story, but we put Spider-Man there instead? How is he going to react in a situation where it doesn't necessarily need him to web crawl? He needs to kind of be a detective. How's he going to
Okay, but
react?
like, but okay,
You know?
but let me tell you this though. Let me tell you this though. How many like Spider-Man and Batman have been around for so long that they can actually take the luxury to restart, right? Redo,
Yeah.
like rehash, return, fuck like I personally didn't like the what do you call it, the old Batman with Clooney. Who was the director for that?
George Clooney.
No,
That
the
was
director.
No, actually, no.
Fuck, the guy that did Beetlejuice, no, and
Tim
Yeah, you're
Burton.
right.
Tim Burton. I didn't like those. I'll be honest. Tim Burton is a badass motherfucker, but I didn't like what he did with Batman. Like,
Oh, Michael Keaton, you mean?
no,
Keaton was the actor. Joe
actor,
Schumacher was the Joe Schumacher was the one for George Clooney, I think.
Oh,
No, Val
okay.
Kilmer.
But I
Oh,
didn't
man.
like
Yeah.
any of that.
Yeah.
But that's where comic book movies were at the time. I'm imagining, but
Joe Schumacher. So just different director, different vision.
but anyways, going back to like Halo, these type of characters that were built for us and continue to exist because of us, right? So within our generation, right? These characters, do they have the same opportunity to continue to be rehashed, reintroduced for the next couple of decades? Like, this is the first time, this is the first go that they get at trying to build.
No, there's comic books.
know?
There's Halo comic books. To be fair.
But then how many Batman movies have there been? How many fucking Spider-Man movies have there been? How many, like, so many, and people don't give up on them. Like, they just go and it's, oh shit, I like this one. You know, like Scott Baio was my favorite one. I haven't
Scott
seen
Baio
that.
from Charles in Charge.
Scott Baio, ¿cómo se llama este güey? American, ¿cómo se llama? Psycho, American Psycho, ¿cómo se llama este güey? Christian Bale.
Scott Baio. God.
Christian, I'm dating myself, right? So then American Psycho, to me, that's the best Batman, except for his shitty voice. But point being is, like, this is the first go, and if at this go with such a saturated market, it doesn't catch on in any way, like, they're dead, just like Cowboy Bebop. Like, how many people love Cowboy Bebop, but boom, dead, gone. You'd probably have to wait another decade for people to fucking give it for a studio to give it another chance, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure the people will always give it a chance. Like, if this Halo sucks, people will give it another go if you bring it up. But then will somebody be willing to put so much money into it? Because I heard, like, it's like 100 million per episode or some crazy number like that.
Damn.
For each episode. And look it up, Stanley Watch. Like, it's a ridiculous amount of money for each episode, and Paramount is banking so much on it that the first episode they posted it for free on YouTube. Like, I found that out later that it was on YouTube for free. So
it has a starting budget of 90 million, with each episode having an expenditure of 10 million an episode.
Oh my god, 100 million. That's ridiculous.
So that means 10 episodes, 9 episodes,
10
million, 9
million.
episodes.
10 million is a lot of money still, though. Like,
yeah,
for one episode, episode.
No, what I was gonna say, like, overall, like, I'm not. Those are like the things that I like. Oh, so let me preface that. The things that I don't like right now.
Like, before you go into that, do you respect the quality, the amount of money they're putting into it? Do you respect that? Do you think that they're doing?
Well, that never really crosses my mind. So
no. I mean, why shouldn't it? Like, why shouldn't it? They're really it's just imagine if they used Doctor Who budget on this shit. Like, what would it look like?
I mean, how many times? I mean,
have you ever seen a Dalek or destroy, right? Really dumb and campy. But
to answer that question, answer that question, because when I saw the CGI of the character, the like CGI characters of the Covenant, like, I could tell, not the best, but it's like, okay, it's not the best, but you could tell that it's being used wisely. So
cool.
I like that. Even the parts that I don't like of Master Chief, or like I said, of Master Chief, even that it's a good reaction. So I'm still giving it a chance. The only thing that I would say that I was really like irked was the whole thing of Dr. Halsey. She has a kid, and which is, unless I'm completely wrong, but at least Dr. Halsey that I know of, she doesn't. She was the type of person that she dedicated her life so much to her research. She had no time to fuck, or is let alone a relationship.
But you have to.
She has a kid. Here's the thing.
No, you have to give writers liberty to further even point out how shitty of a person or one-minded that character is, that they're willing to neglect the kid, right? Like, I see that nuance. I
mean, I like the fact that you recognize that you have to give the writers a little bit of of credit or wiggle room to be able to do that, because no disrespect to the video game story, but it's a video game story. It's what moves it forward is literally you moving the character. So you have to understand that it's not going to be just run and gun the whole time. Like you said, they have to have a little bit of leeway to move things around. And
it's like how much does this mean to her that she's had a kid and somebody else raised it? You know, like is that something that they're trying to point out? You know, and then like as a writer, and I'm not a writer, but like I would imagine that introducing characters like that could then come back again, and you can use it as fodder for something else, right? Like, she changed her mind. If you're trying to find a reason for a character to pivot, you know, then you can, she has a kid, but you're not going to introduce a kid out of nowhere, like in the novelas, you know, like novela content, they don't respect you at all, where all of a sudden
it's Chekhov's gun, right? It's a writing term, so a creative term. Chekhov's gun is pretty much.
Say it again.
A Chekhov's gun.
What is that?
So let's say you're in a movie or writing a story, and you mention a shotgun on the side on a wall, right? If you mention the shotgun, you have to use it again. There's a reason why you mentioned it. You can't just show that and not mention it.
It's like in poetry when you emphasize something, right?
Well, not just emphasize. Like if I'm walking, like in a video game, and they highlight a sign, it's because, hey, pay attention to this. It's gonna matter later. Or in the movies or in writing, you kind of drop hints about this character, and you go, why even bring up this character if it's not gonna come up later? It's called Chekhov's gun.
Only telenovelas are like one where the character dies. I was mentioning this, like the character dies and then it comes to life out of nowhere. It had amnesia, and they come up with like the stupid.
It's kind of like the Simpsons episode. Remember when the Chinese mafia fought the Italian mafia, and they're like, "Come on, come inside. Where are you going?" No, there's a little tiny Asian guy right there. He hasn't done anything yet. If I leave, he's gonna do something really cool.
Yeah.
Like you're being promised something really cool is gonna happen, and imagine if he didn't.
What did he end up doing?
No, but you do get that payoff when he closes the door. You hear bodies, like you hear a loud noise and bodies hit the thing. Oh shit! Wow, I missed it. But there was a little bit of a payoff. So I think that you need to give credit where credit's due. Like these characters are gonna be brought up, hopefully the right way. If they bring up the little girl or the girl and nothing's done with it, then it's kind of shitty writing.
Okay, I get it.
So that what you mentioned, what Walter said, it gives another opportunity to show how Dr. Halsey is like just a shit person. Okay, I get that. I still disagree because again, if it's already been proven in the game, why add something that it gets catches at least some fans off guard?
You have played the game,
but here's one thing. Here's one thing that I thought it was odd, just in general. So from my understanding, she's in the military, right? She's in the military, and everybody in the military, of course, they have their morals and all that stuff. But if you're in the military, you follow orders. And the reason why I say, because I've actually spoken some things of similar subject matter to friends who are in the military, this and that, and they're like, yeah, you can have your morals, but at the end of the day, you shut up and follow orders, right?
But she's a scientist, though. She's a scientist. She's not like literally
military scientist, no?
Yeah, but a scientist. She started off as a scientist.
Tell that to the scientists that we have in our military right now. But anyways, what bugged me was that they are giving an order that MasterChief to, again, spoilers to the show, to kill that one girl and that she's with, right? And also like, are we murdering kids? Is that what
it's like no, that's a more political thing that you're getting into. It's like you're trying that shows are always trying to paint armies, cops, and authority figures as righteous and can do no wrong. So,
and then to me, I was like,
I get that.
And to me, I was like, man,
whatever.
What kind of captain shit is this?
Yeah.
But
anyways, going back, go ahead and close it, Stanley. Like,
look, guys, trust me. So it feels like
this is going to be an
ongoing thing with you guys. So okay, and I'll check out the show, give you my opinions too. But Primos, of course, you can go ahead and reach out to us. Let us know what you think at My Primos Podcast. Let us know. Thanks, you guys, for listening, following along with us. I appreciate every one of you that still reaches out. I do have some guests coming up on the show. I got them on the books. So we'll hear from some of our friends, see what they think about all this. especially our thoughts on some of the movies that are coming out. Remember, guys, we're coming up on summer. New movies coming out. Doctor Strange is coming out. We also have, what was it?
Swamp Ass is coming out.
God. Well, as Walter, typical Walter. Well, guys, thanks for listening tonight. I appreciate you. Of course, we'll hear from you next week. Take us out, Walter. Something not swamp ass, please. Appreciate that.
Watch out with the editing, and don't make yourself look good. Too good. Like
Too good.
Yeah, he's the one that does the editing. So
Be real.